Hello and welcome to Piano Shack with me, Woody. Everything you have just heard came from the Integra. And as a follow-up to my previous video, the way I recorded this session then was to have all the MIDI tracks recorded in Reaper, playing through the Integra at the same time. I did all of the mixing within the Integra using the unofficial editor, adding effects, adjusting the instruments, adjusting the levels of the instruments and so on. And then I bounced the stereo outs from the Integra into my PC. So up here you can see the various MIDI tracks, and down here are some audio tracks where I've recorded the output of the Integra. It worked out quite well actually, and a bit easier than I thought it would be. I did discover with the help of a comment from a viewer that you have to enable a special setting on the Integra for the audio over USB to work. You find that on the menu and it's called vendor specific USB driver, I think. And I think you'll agree the Integra sounds fantastic. Yeah, I was super impressed actually. If you audition the sounds individually in the Integra, they sound okay. But it's when you put them into a mix that they really shine. And I suppose this is why Roland modules have been used for decades in recording studios. And I think it would have taken me a lot longer to find all of those sounds using plugins. It was super convenient to have everything in one place. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the album that we just featured. It's one of my personal favourites. You might be surprised, one of my favourite albums is by Andrew Lloyd Webber. Yeah, the guy that does all the soppy musicals. But this one's a little bit different. I'm not sure if it's my favourite, but it's one that I've got a lot of enjoyment out of over the years. Just the record sleeve got my attention when I was a kid. You can see it's like a little classical chamber orchestra here, but if you look closely in the background there's big PA speakers and a rock guitar there over on the left. This then is a bit of a crossover between classical music and rock music, which I normally despise, but this one got it right. It's mostly rock music with just a couple of classical instruments thrown in. From 1978 then, this is a classical and rock fusion album, composed by Andrew Lloyd Webber and featuring his younger brother on cello. Julian was a very highly regarded classical cello player. Apparently Julian refused to play on a rock album until he lost a bet with his brother. It's an interesting album because it contains 23 variations of a theme, the main theme being Paganini's 24th Caprice. And the variations are in a variety of different musical styles, for example, surf, rock, heavy metal, jazz. And the people that played on this album are like a who's of highly regarded session musicians at the time. Julian Lloyd Webber, Don Airey, Rod Argent. Those two are very well-known keyboard players from the 70s. Gary Moore, who else? Barbara Thompson playing the flute and the saxophone. John Mole on bass. John Heisman on drums. Yeah, this was basically a prog rock band, I think, called Colosseum, if I remember rightly. So perhaps worth checking out, and it does feature a lot of really classic vintage synthesizers, as you can see there. Not to mention some really fantastic melodies that have been used in the UK for various TV shows. That's all I had for today, unfortunately, but do stay tuned for more demos of the Integra. Thanks for watching and subscribing. I'll see you soon. Cheerio.